making money wholesaling commercial property. Can it be done? Just as you would wholesale your single family home to an end buyer to make money, you can do the same over here with commercial property with your large and small apartment building. Except we have two distinct advantages. Number one is there's less competition for us on the commercial side than there is for the single family home person. Secondly, we have potentially larger fees. We can make more money because our transactions and prices are much larger than the single family home person over there. Now, what if you have very little money, but you have a burning desire to be in commercial real estate and you have no experience? Can you still wholesale a commercial property, large and small? The answer is yes. Let me introduce you to our student Jeremy right here. Now, Jeremy had no experience whatsoever, former military guy, no experience, graduated college with a lot of student loans, and used his first commercial deal, which was a wholesale, to completely pay off his student loan bills. Second student, number two, Anthony, no experience whatsoever in any real estate, let alone commercial, lived with his parents but had a burning desire to do commercial real estate. How did we help him? We got him started with commercial wholesaling. He made $10,000 on his first deal. So can it be done? Absolutely. All right, so in this video, what I want to do is share with you three things. Number one is I want to share with you how to make money wholesaling any type of commercial property, okay? Number two, I'm going to give you the three-step process that we use with Jeremy and with Anthony to wholesale your commercial real estate. And number three, I'm going to share with you the three deal types that'll make you the most money. All right, let's get started. All right, let's start right here with the big question. The big question is why? Why, Peter, should you wholesale commercial real estate? Well, the simple answer is it solves a huge problem. When you are a beginning commercial real estate investor, there's a big obstacle staring you right in the face. And that big obstacle is you don't have the down payment, right? So what we do is we take our students through the wholesaling process and have them make money by wholesaling several deals until they can save up for their down payment so that they can do their own deal. That's the purpose. That's the reason why you should consider wholesaling first as a beginning investor if you lack the down payment. Okay, got it? Now, let me walk you through now a simple deal of how you will make money from a commercial property. Okay, watch this here. All right, so let's say you have a 7-unit apartment building worth $500,000, okay? And it needs $25,000 in repairs, okay? And you get it under contract for $425,000 because the property needs repairs, okay? So you're sitting in it with $75,000 in equity. So you find a buyer, and a buyer buys it from you for $450,000, right? And then you pocket the difference, which is $25,000. This is a win-win scenario because you got paid $25,000, and then your buyer, he bought it for $450,000. He has to put another $25,000 into it, so he's in it for $475,000, but is worth $500,000. Okay, so win-win scenario. All right. Now here's the big question, Peter. How do I find the 7-unit? Right? How do I get under contract? And how do I find a buyer? Well, let me walk you through that 3-step process right now. Let's do that. All right, here is our 3-step process to wholesaling any commercial deal. This is the foundation of how we teach our students to wholesale commercial real estate right here. Okay, 3 steps. Step number 1 is to generate leads, right? You need to look at deals and see if they're wholesalable, right? So you need to create leads, right? Number 2, step 2 is to get those good deals under contract. That's number 2. And number 3 is you need to find a buyer and get the deal closed. Okay? So generate the leads, get good deals under contract, find a buyer, and close the deal. 3 steps. Now let me go through a little more in depth on each of the 3 steps. Number 1, on generate leads. We believe And stats speak for themselves that apartments are best to wholesale because they're easy to analyze. Everybody wants them. They're all over the news as good investments, right? And they're the most plentiful. Okay. And also financing is readily available for apartments than it is for anything else. You know, storage, office buildings, retail, industrial. Apartment lending is easiest of them all. Okay. Next, the deal size. I would stick between 5 and 20 units for two reasons. Number one, these owners are easier to deal with, and secondly, since deals are smaller, they're easier to wholesale. Okay. And number three, this is where our company shines. We spend a lot of money and resources and time on finding ways to get direct to the owners. Okay, so in wholesaling, we like to bypass the agent and go direct to the owners so we can get better deals there, learn their motivations, and create really good deals by going direct. Okay, and so secondly, to generate leads, a lot of networking. We do lots of networking. You know, in the midst of a pandemic, you can't network, but social networking you can, and it has picked up greatly since the pandemic has started. Okay, so social networking, you can use Craigslist, REI clubs, anything you can do to get deals coming to you. Okay, and lastly, they must be off market. We don't want to try to wholesale a deal that's on the MLS. Makes no sense, right? Imagine bringing a deal on the MLS to your buyer, right? And you give it to them, they Google it, and they find it's on the MLS, and they call you back and go, why do I need you? This deal is already online, it's already for sale. Why did you bring it to me, right? I could do this myself. Bring me something that's not on the market, okay? So that's what buyers want, something that's not on the market. So step one is to generate leads. Step two is to get good deals under contract, right? Let me just say this. For a wholesale transaction to be legal, in terms of you making money and you're not licensed, okay, it needs to be under contract. That's how you do it legally. You have to get it under contract. And then, by law, you can assign the contract to a buyer and receive money at closing. Some states don't allow this, so look it up wherever you are, wherever you're watching. You know, Google your state and look at the legalities of wholesaling. But for the majority of states in the U.S., it is absolutely okay. But you must have it under contract, okay? No bird dog fees, nothing like that, right? You must get it under contract in order to get paid if you are not licensed, okay? Don't do that or you're breaking the law. All right. And then the contract that you actually use, it must be assignable. So the contract must have a clause that says it is assignable. Be careful, because some contracts will say this contract is not assignable. Make sure it is. Okay? And lastly, what's a good deal? Right? This is such an important topic. I'm going to use the next segment. So in a couple minutes, right, I'm going to share with you what a good deal is and what buyers want. Okay? So I couldn't do a service here, so I'm going to do a special segment for that in a couple minutes. All right, step 3 is finding buyers and closing the deal. The big activity here is finding buyers. That's actually easier than you think. Okay, there's a lot of buyers out there for good apartment deals. Tons of them out there. All right. So first thing you have to do, though, you have to qualify the buyer. Right. So just because a buyer finds your deal and wants to buy it from you, doesn't mean that he's actually going to perform. He could actually ruin your deal and ruin your reputation if you don't vet him or her correctly. So make sure you understand what their needs are. Make sure they have they can perform, meaning that they have already spoken to a bank, and the bank says that they can take down this property, and make sure they have the money. If you don't do these 3 things, you could have egg on your face. Okay, so make sure. That's why I put this first. You must qualify the buyer. Okay. All right. To find a buyer, these days, a lot of our students, I would say a majority of them are finding their buyers on Facebook groups all over the United States. They're joining Facebook groups, posting a deal there, creating relationships there, and finding buyers on Facebook groups. Okay. You can also use the Real Estate Investment Club forums. So a lot of these forums now have grown, right, online because of the pandemic. The last thing is, the online activity, all this social networking and finding buyers online. This activity online has exploded since the onset of the pandemic. A lot of deals are getting done now online because you can't meet in person. So everything's done online now. So no excuse for you for not finding a buyer online. They're everywhere. Okay, you just got to qualify them. All right. So what I want to do next is share with you what does a good deal look like, and what is a deal that a buyer will be eager to buy. Let's do that next. What is the ideal deal to bring to your buyer, right? What types of deal can create the most money for you? Well, I say that these three deal attributes will do you the best. Number one is you want to find a deal, right, and get a deal under contract that's priced under market. How come? Because it will create built-in equity for your buyer day one. So if the property is worth $500,000 and you get it under contract for $450,000, your buyers will love you, because when they buy the deal, they walk in day one with built-in equity of $50,000. You'll become a very popular wholesaler. Okay. Number one. Number two. Number two is you want to find a deal, get a deal under contract where the rents can go up, where the rents can be increased. I know I sound like a broken record, but in nearly all my videos, I preach to you how important it is in commercial real estate that you have to get the rents up, because once the rents go up, the NOI goes up, and guess what? The property value goes up. Okay? So the reason why you want the rents, find a deal where the rents can be increased, is because the property value will increase. As rents goes up, their NOI goes up, so does the property value. Buyers love these types of deals. Okay? A lot of them can't create it, but our students can, right? So can you, right? Number three, the ideal deal will be in a good neighborhood. Isn't that a no-brainer? Why would you bring a deal with good numbers but in a horrible neighborhood? You would actually harm your reputation, right? So this is just common sense. You want to bring a deal that's in a good neighborhood, right? No bad neighborhoods. And guess what? In a bad neighborhood, you can't overcome the bad neighborhood by giving them a lower price. Okay? Don't do it. It's going to harm your reputation. You don't want to be known as the person that gets junk under contract and bring to your buyer. You don't want that reputation. You want good neighborhood, and you want the reputation of having deals priced under the market, and then you want the deals where they can increase their rents so they can increase their property value. All right? Got it? All right. So let me wrap up this video. I'm going to wrap it up right now and sum it up right here. I'm going to wrap up here by sharing with you exactly what you need to get started wholesaling commercial real estate. Okay? It's not that it's not that difficult. It's very simple. Number one, you need a cell phone. Number two, you need a computer. You see, not that difficult, right? And then number three, you need specialized knowledge, which our company has, right? And so what I want you to do is absorb yourself in all the videos that we have here. Sign up for our online course. Do all of that. Get as much specialized knowledge as you can, okay? And then also, too, what I want you to do to encourage yourself, to see yourself doing it, I want you to see these two gentlemen here, these two young men, Jeremy, and the video links will appear. Jeremy, again, paid off his student loans that he had forever. He paid it off with one wholesale commercial deal. And secondly, Anthony, who was just a very young guy, lived in his parents' home, and wanted to get in commercial, didn't have a lot of money, but he wholesaled his first commercial deal, made $10,000, gave him such a boost of confidence. Okay, so please watch these two. The links will appear. Number four, what I want to share with you is the one thing. I always get this question, Peter, what is the one thing that I can do to make sure I'm successful in commercial real estate? Easy answer for me. The answer for you is persistence. Right? You need persistence in this business. It's not an easy business. If it were, everybody will be doing it. But if you stick with it, it is very lucrative and life-changing. Guaranteed. Okay. All right, the last thing I'm going to share with you is to start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible. Then suddenly you will find that you are doing the impossible. Okay, wholesaling your first commercial deal as a beginner. Got it? All right. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want more like this, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and or go to our website, commercialpropertyadvisors.com. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your patience. I'll see you at the next video.